Brittlestar holds a fully valid driver's license and studied clarinet in high school for 3 years. Despite these impressive qualifications, please note that all advice and/or suggestions in this video are for entertainment purposes only and do not qualify as professional advice in any manner. I mean, come on, look at the guy. Make your own decisions. Be happy. Keep going.
Hey guys, Brittlestar here. Welcome to another edition of Help Me Brittlestar. Today's question comes from Robert, and Robert says, I was just recently inducted into my high school's National Honor Society. That's a huge honor. It is a huge honor that I worked hard for. We just said that, Robert. Come on. And my family and I are very proud. There are two similar problems that I'm currently facing that I wish for you to please help me with. I'm extremely shy. We just recently had our first meeting and I found myself sitting alone in the back just listening to while the other kids were hanging out with their friends and chatting. I only have like one other good friend in my life and he isn't in the honor society. Not as smart as Robert. The other problem I'm facing is that it is mandatory for us to peer tutor. We must tutor a peer, help them do well in a subject they are struggling in. Like I said, I'm very shy. How should I go about breaking my shell to talk to more kids without me seeming creepy and in their business and get through the peer tutoring without having anxiety over the shyness? Please help. Okay, I'm very shy. I'm super shy. And it may not seem like that, but I'm only comfortable when I'm in control of the conversation or what's happening. I can go into a room full of people and if you hand me a microphone, I can comfortably talk to everybody and it doesn't bother me. If I go into a room full of people and you hand me a hors d'oeuvre, sausage in a, what are they called? Sausage roll, some sort of canapé, and just say, go talk to people, I will freak out and I'll be mortified. So there's a couple things that I do, or a few things that I do to try to get over that fear. You're worried about not seeming creepy and not getting in their business. So the idea with talking to people, and I have to remind myself of this all the time, the idea of talking to people casually is that you have to keep conversations light. If this is the river of conversation, your bestest friend might go down here near the bottom where the flounders are and whatever else lives in the bottom of an ocean, octopi, I don't know. Then, so your best friends are down here. Casual conversation is like just below the surface because you don't really know each other yet. You haven't built up a relationship or a trust, so you don't want to tell people too much stuff about you and you don't want to get into detail, so monitor what you're saying, and if you're starting to get too detailed, then dial it back a bit. Hi, how are you? My name's Robert. My mom has a terrible rash on her inner thigh. That's too much. Hi, my name's Robert. How are you? That's better. Don't go too deep in your conversation. A second thing, in any sort of gathering, any sort of connection with people, it doesn't even have to be gathering, it just can be one-on-one, doesn't matter what it is. Just try to find some sort of common thread between you. This is quite the event, isn't it? Sure is, Robert. You sure are a swell. Thanks. Then you've got something to talk about. It's really cool to be in the Honor Society. Is this your first time in the Honor Society, or were you in it previously? I don't know how it works. That type of thing. I was never smart enough to get in. And that works for anything and anywhere. It could work if you're at the car wash, or if you're at a store, or whatever. You've got something, you're there to store it together, you're both looking at underpants. No, actually, it's a bad idea. That's like a down at the bottom. That's a conversation for flounders is what it is. Or octopi. But find a common thread. Don't ask too many questions when you're talking to people. You want to let them tell you what they want to tell you. Let them tell you about their mother's rash on their inner thigh. You know what I'm saying? That's not up to you. You don't have to ask about it, and you don't want to bring it up. And be careful when you're shaking their hands, especially if they're in charge of putting the ointment on their mother's rash. Nice to meet you, Robert. I fist bump. Don't ask too many questions, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to ask too many questions. So you've got a common thread, you've got keeping the conversation simple and light, and move on from there. So relax, look for common threads that you can talk to people about. When you do your peer-to-peer tutoring, you can maybe talk about, I don't know if they have like a pair of shoes you like, or if they're listening to some music that you like, or you have never heard before, even if you don't like it. You've never heard like, well, what is that stuff? Hey, what are you listening to? Oh, it's like Norwegian death metal. You wouldn't understand. You're right, I wouldn't. So, nice shoes. That type of thing. Conversations don't always end well. Conversations sometimes suck and you have to just get the heck out of there. That's okay. You're in the Honor Society, you're helping people. Robert, you get a lot of things to offer. Oh, one last thing. Get comfortable with silence. It is a huge issue. And this is where a lot of nervous, shy people, they fly off the rails, is when a conversation stalls, or you say a couple of sort of small talk type things and you don't know what to say. And you're like, I like to rub cheese on my bum. Maybe not that. That'd be terrible. I don't, by the way. Haven't in years. Silence can force people to say stupid things. And if the other person does that, you can gracefully just kind of acknowledge it or nod. Have you done the cheese thing recently? Get comfortable with silence. And one last thing. Before you get into these situations, try to think of a couple of exit strategies. Conversations naturally come to a point where there's really not a lot more to talk about because you're not going to be best friends, you're going to run out of time, it's not the proper environment for it, whatever. So find a couple of ways that you can gracefully exit a conversation. And they can be things like, I've got to go meet up with my friend, I'm doing this, or I got to take off because I got to study, or I got to go here before this shuts, or whatever. It could be anything. Or I got to get another drink, I got to go get one of those sausage rolls. Something where you can gracefully get out of it, and whenever you finish, just say, talk to you later. That's all you have to do. So here's the recap. Find a common thread. Keep your conversation simple. Get comfortable with silence. Think of some good exit strategies. You're going to be like the coolest guy ever. Cool. All right, thanks guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment below. I do read all the comments, so thank you very much. If you have your own question for Help Me Brittlestar, the link will be below. It's at brittlestar.com. I'll be back again tomorrow with another edition of Help Me Brittlestar. Thank you so much for writing in. Keep those problems and all those awful things in your life, and you're fretting about them and you're worrying about them. Put them on my shoulders, and I will try to do my best to help you. And remember, kids, though, I'm an idiot. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Nothing at all. This is like my third cup of coffee in the past 10 minutes since starting filming this. Thanks so much, guys. Talk to you soon. Remember to subscribe, and see you later. What was that? Oh, it wasn't loaded. That's why. See ya.